Here we go.
Motion.
We're live. We can get rhythmic right now. Well, so tell me about this lady. How do you know her?
So through Instagram, she's nutrition. Basically, gives a lot of tips to people on nutrition, proper eating, want to lose weight, good ways, actually pretty good tactics and stuff. So you want to check it out. Yeah, so she'll be on. We'll discuss. Let her do it. Yeah, there's and I like the way that she presents her material on
Okay.
Instagram. It's funny, but it's effective. So obviously she's helps with diets and
Yeah.
proper eating and stuff like that. But we'll let her talk about it. But let's talk about you and I. Are we
Oh,
going to the Strength Club New York City event?
I'll go. Yeah. I mean, I'll go if
All
you
right.
want to go.
Because Kenny reached out yesterday. They're putting us in the VIP room to do live
Oh.
broadcasts.
Ooh.
Oh,
I
we
mean,
just got
look at us.
we just got
V-
we just got a text.
VIP
Okay,
room.
10:20. She's coming on.
10, 10:20. We will get
Okay.
her on at 10:20.
So yeah, so
Wow. Look at us, VIPs.
so I would think there's a slew of people that we'd want to interview
Yeah.
um, and such. But are we gonna do the boring trainer thing, or are we gonna? Oh yeah,
No,
what is?
no, we're gonna actually put thought into it. Believe it or not, you said she likes to be like funny and educating or whatever. We'll try one or the other when we do it. When our social media, we'll try to be. Listen, we want to have fun. Ultimately, like how many things have we both turned down because we're not allowed to go do fun things? Like I don't want to just sit there and
I'm
talk about the
not.
same things and look, I'm sure it's going to be interesting things, but I can't tell you anytime I've gone to one of those expos and sat and listened to people speak. I don't know, it's
Oh,
not in me.
Zach, you and I both are on the same page. I,
Yeah,
I
I'm not.
can't I can't listen to anybody speak.
Mm-mm.
I mean, as far as as far as fitness, the last thing I want to hear about is hypertrophy and
Exactly.
and the proper way to train. I've been training the right way for 30 years, so chill. So I am. That's when you and I will get a coffee,
Yes. Exactly.
possibly
and
a, a, a vegan muffin, whatever, whatever it is.
and look, I'm sure clearly people do like it. I'm just not
It's
the
not
target
me.
for that. I'm not the market. I cannot sit through it. I also, maybe it's because I've heard a lot of these things a lot and it's not new to me, no matter who's saying it. It's just
It depends who's saying it. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just I don't know. So for me to go essentially reiterate what everybody else is already saying or have said, it's like nah. So we'll try to have some fun. We'll try to do some interesting things.
Would you rather interview a boring trainer or Kenny's dog? I would interview
Oh,
Kenny's dog.
me
Remember
too.
we had with the shoot?
Yes,
Where,
absolutely.
what happened when your master threw the ball? Where'd it go? Roof. Who's
Yeah,
one of the greatest baseball players of all time? Roof. Yeah,
Roof.
Babe Ruth.
He's so smart. This dog. You wouldn't even believe how
Finish,
smart he is.
complete this sentence. The blank is on fire. Roof.
Dog's a genius. I mean, it's crazy. But
Well, you
yeah,
know what? We dress him up, put a hat on him. We'll probably get a million views.
that's right. See that? Well, that's us being innovators. We'll put a hat on.
Uh,
Shit. Yeah.
Look, man, you and I have been to I don't know how many expos and stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing people
Me
that
too.
obviously we know and then it's a huge success for Kenny. But there's certain things you just you can't sit through. And I mean, I'm sure they have some really good speakers and everything, a lot of information. But it's just you and I have heard a lot of this. But I went to Dr. Bob Goldman's A4M anti-aging, and that was interesting because they had ever like cancer doctors and a
Okay.
lot of different information. But let's see what happens at this event. Maybe you'll speak. And
Yeah. Maybe. What? Yeah. What will I say? I don't even know. Like
but don't
I would talk about my
honestly,
disgust.
I would find you extremely interesting, and I'll tell you why. Because I have heard everything about training and this and that. Listen, I learn things all the time, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna listen. I'm not gonna listen to it. I'm not gonna. I like hockey, but I'm not gonna sit there and listen to a podcast on NHL. I like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but to interview you, I'd be like, I'd have specific questions that only you could answer. Like, how has media changed drastically over the last 5 years? What do you see more with, what's the difference between a fitness influencer and a fitness professional? Like, I would
Mhm.
have questions related to media, like who's the best guest you've ever interviewed, who's an asshole. Like, you'd be a an interesting interview, I would think.
Well, that's interesting because when you put it like that, these are questions I haven't really thought about in a while, about who's interesting and who's not. But yeah, I do think about the media side of things and how things have
Yeah,
changed and how quickly they're changing, and even not just seeing how this company, but many companies struggle to keep up with
yeah,
how to stay on top. I mean, we talk about stuff all the time, how challenging it can be, and
yep,
because people are the brands now, so they're creating their own
yeah,
audiences and their own niches. They don't really necessarily need companies or anymore because they already are their own company. So it's rough. Which totally
right.
different, totally different thing. But I saw this thing in the news. The CEO or somebody from First Form, Andy Frisella. Does that sound right?
I saw that. Yeah, I saw
Dude,
that as well.
oof. So I guess he said something about. I'm trying to look it up right now. I guess it's St. Louis, and okay, here it is. He said something about Thursday for. Oh, of course, now I can't read it because of pop up. Basically, he just said something about women shouldn't be police officers or something. I guess he's had some negative run-ins or something, and now that's become a bunch of brands and people just not carrying
Well,
the product. And it's like I
I
thought
hear you.
about this. Look, he has every right to say these things because it's his his right to free speech. But you got to also understand that there's repercussions, right? Like to what you say.
Yeah. I mean, look, like you said, you're your own brand now.
Hmm.
Whereas, as is 5 years ago, 10 years ago, people didn't have the 5 million, 10 million views. You depended on companies to get your
Right.
product out there and everything. Now these people don't care. They're their own. So think about it. Some of these influencers have more followers than celebrities do.
Yeah.
So, and major companies. If you look, I was looking the other day, and I think like Howard Stern. You would think he had multi millions of followers on Instagram, right? They
Yeah.
don't. But then Jesse James West
Hmm.
has multi millions. Sam Sulek has millions. Like, so I don't know. I mean, you have the right to say anything you want on your own forum, but there will be ramifications because the world is split 50-50. You know?
Right. Yeah. So basically, it was. Yeah. Okay. So I spelled it wrong too. It's first form, but whatever.
First from that. I knew what you meant.
Yeah. So basically, there it is. So yeah, I guess I didn't really read the whole thing. I didn't listen to the podcast because I honestly don't listen to any fitness industry podcasts, to be honest with you. So,
You and me
uh,
both. I'm like, oh, you have
yes.
a podcast?
Yeah. But that sucks because, dude, that means, all the folks that are involved with that company now are going to have to potentially feel a
Yeah.
squeeze for how long, right? So, because if it keeps going, well, what if they have to make cutbacks and things like that? And it just sucks. It's kind of like you read about Dave Navarro getting punched by Perry Farrell.
I saw that.
Yeah, so I
That I
watched the
saw.
video. So then he sends out a message and he's basically saying he's apologizing, Dave Navarro to the opening acts because they're kind of
Yeah.
screwed. They have to cancel everything, and these are hardworking people who are trying to make a name, and it's like, oh man, like that was a really good point. I didn't think about that, but same thing here. It's like, ugh.
It's always, look, man, I'm so caught up right now with the P. Diddy
I know.
arrest. That is
Oof,
just
awful.
the freak out parties, the 1,000 bottles of lube.
I know, dude.
Like that is and Cat Williams calling him out a year ago on Shannon Sharp and all the players that are like involved in this. And is what happened to Jeffrey Epstein going to happen to P. Diddy in prison? Like
Yeah.
how many people are involved? P Diddy had video of, like, are those videos going to be leaked? Like, who's involved? You know,
Well, also like,
fascinating.
okay, what is is a freak out party? That's what it's called. Like, what was that defined as to what it was? I have a feeling when you have 1,000 bottles of lube, I have a feeling I have an idea what goes on, but did they say like what
Well,
it actually
don't
was?
don't quote me, but I read it. You basically there were a freak out parties, obviously sex
Right.
between what they said were prostitutes that he trafficked in and uh, people of notoriety and people of just other
Jeez.
people having sex, but all being filmed. I don't know what the, you know, what the um what the I guess the purpose of this was to get the video of certain people who have power in Hollywood. I don't know. Like there's
Jeez.
two different stories. I guess we won't know. You could read the indictment, but there they were saying that a lot of these people were prostitutes and that he trafficked them in, and that you know what else could a freak out party be? I don't know. I
I don't
mean,
know.
but
That's why I was like,
imagine,
you know,
imagine,
no one's ever invited me
and
to a
he's.
freak out. Can you believe it? I know it's shocking to think I haven't been invited to a freak out party, but I have not.
Would you rather go to a freak out party or listen to a fitness?
Oof. Yeah, I know. It's like, man, just
It's funny,
talk about the
but it's
decision there.
it's sad though, man, because if I don't know all the details, but
Yeah.
if these people are underage or if these people are coerced or if these people are on drugs and stuff, I mean, if that's the case, he deserves to go to jail for the rest of his life.
Yeah. No, I'm reading it too. I did not read the indictment, but I did read. I've been reading up about it, and I know he's complaining that the jail in Manhattan or New York City is dirty and gross, and I'm like, that sounds about
Yeah,
right. Yeah, like
yeah.
I would think
But
so.
I like the like I don't know. I like to dig deeper mentally into this. I know, obviously there's crimes, but you're a billionaire who's been
Hmm.
catered to for the last 2 decades,
Yeah.
right? And now you're sitting in a cell, right? And it's disgusting. You're getting a bologna sandwich,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're just having people serve you food and doing meeting your every need. Like that's gotta be like I don't know. That is just crazy. Like think
Uh,
about that.
no, I'm with you. It's like Harvey Weinstein, same thing, right? Like a person that
Yeah.
basically could and did whatever he wanted to do,
Yeah.
and then it catches up with you. Which, but to me, wouldn't there? I guess I'm putting myself in this and not in their psyche and the way that they think in their warped minds. But wouldn't you be like, wow, you know what? I have all this stuff. I'm gonna not be such an asshole. I'm gonna try to do good things or not. I don't know. Like, is
People.
that weird?
There's a quote that says, "Money shows you the person you are." So, right, like some people become like, they're like, oh, they become idiots. They, start treating people awfully and this and that. Like, is that is that because of money or is that because of the person you really
Yeah.
are? Because some people take money and they're like, they'll have charities, they'll do all these kinds of things, right? Like they'll help people. And then there's others who just are about themselves and complete debauchery happens,
Yeah.
like I
And
don't know.
look, I mean, I'm all for it. You know, if you work for it or whatever, you acquire something, it's yours. But yeah, I guess I'm the same way. There's just a point where I would think, you know what, I've got enough here. How can we be doing some better
Yeah.
things? Not how can we, do a better freak out party next time for, other people
It's
that have a lot of shit.
someone asked me the other day that when the lotto jackpot was like 500 million, they're like, I would put it, someone's like, I would put it in this and I would grow it. And I'm like, they're like, what would you do? I'm like,
Grow it.
I would do nothing. I said I would take a huge chunk, make sure that I'm set, and then I would help people. I would
Yeah.
go to a diner and leave a $20,000 tip. I would
Yeah.
go through. I was going to say newspaper, but what is
That's
that?
that's
I would
crazy.
go and
Yeah.
say I would pay for policemen's funerals for their like I would like help
Yeah.
people. I would do stuff with dogs. I would do stuff with the Children's Cancer Hospital. Like I wouldn't have a freak out party.
No,
You know what
exactly. That
I'm
would probably be
saying?
way down on the list. It's like there'd be other things, but it's I don't know, man. The thing is nowadays, like you said, somebody's trying to acquire those hidden recordings, and now guaranteed there's going to be documentaries and docuseries and all these things are going to come to light, and there's probably a, for lack of a better word, I guess, freak out now to try to stop people's names from appearing, just like on that Epstein like island list or whatever. People will be like, they don't want their names associated with that. Like, who would? And there's a lot of people on there that you do know. Whether they did something or not, I guess, is up for debate. But you know, it doesn't look good.
Jail is one place where obviously it really doesn't matter how much money you have, because if all these movies and television shows have taught us, you can't hide in jail no matter how much money you have. You could pay
No.
people to protect you. You can do this, but they always slip through the cracks somehow, and they wind up on the other side of life.
I can tell you one thing. I am not built for jail or prison or anything like that. I can.
Who
That's why
is?
I've spent that's why I've spent my life, my whole life, trying to stay out of it as best as I can. Because I don't think I would fit in. I wouldn't have fun. I'd complain. You think Puff Daddy or P Diddy or whatever his name. He's got so many different names, by the way. When they were reading off the amount of names, I'm like,
Puff.
wow, he really has changed his name a lot. But
Do you think they'll find other evidence of stuff that he's done, that there was question marks, like of,
sure.
Tupac and all these other things, and J-Lo and all? I'm curious to see. But
curious,
going
too.
back to prison, like what are you gonna check the box for a vegan meal?
I know. Yeah, I can't eat this. Excuse me. Can you heat it up? Do you have an air fryer? This seems microwaved.
Sorry, warden, sir, a guard. Yeah, I ordered the vegan.
Yeah. Where do I file the complaint? I just don't think this is going to work for me. I'm going to need to relocate to a different cell block. More light. I need different couches.
This is Mr. Ziegler. Yeah, this is your new cellmate. He's 375 pounds.
Great.
It's like like a
We're gonna be
cross
pals.
between the Big Show, the Big Show, the Big Show. Your cellmate. Yeah, you
We're
got
gonna
the
be
top
best
bunk.
friends. Yes. Oh, perfect. Imagine that. Then we become best pals, and we're like playing games together. There's Candyland, and there's all these ones that I've been practicing with my kids. Oh, what a time that would be.
One minute you're pooping on a solid gold bowl, and the other minute you're pooping in front of an audience, right? Like, think about it. Right? Like, that's a hard pill to swallow, right?
Yeah, it's quite the change. Yeah, that's. But I want. Yeah, that's the. You're right, man. I wonder what those discussions are like between the lawyer and the client, and that's because think, it's dirty in jail. Yeah, no shit, man. You're in jail. Like it's gonna be, and he can't leave. The judge won't let him leave.
Well, you think about like prisoners of war who've made it through like 5-10 years, like in a 5x5 cell, and you know what I'm saying, and they've made it through. It's insane, right? Because think of not the physical, but just the mental capacity to for someone to get through that. I mean, I expect that. Look at that.
What up?
Where are you, the Hamptons? Look like you're in the Hamptons.
What's
with
up?
Glasses.
Are you mute? You've muted yourself.
Mute.
You're on
Unmute.
mute.
Is
Oh,
that
you're
that work?
unmuted. Now you are unmuted.
You're coming through my car, so I don't know if this is working. You can hear me? What's up,
Yeah.
guys?
Yes, we can.
Hi. How
Yes,
are you?
I'm in Florida. I just moved to Florida like a month ago from New York City, and it's the fucking best.
Yeah. Where?
What part
So
of-
okay.
Well, we don't want to let people know
Yeah,
what part
yeah.
of Florida, but
Okay.
What-
But it's
why'd
so
you move?
okay.
Hi,
Why did
Zach.
you
Yeah.
move?
Rachel.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you. I moved because I have 2 little kids, and we were like crammed into a 2-bedroom apartment, and I was like,
That
okay,
makes
we gotta
sense.
go.
Yeah,
And
that makes
it's
sense.
like the city's like not like it used to be to me, you know?
No.
And I was like, I want like nice weather, and yeah, so we just like did it.
There's
All right.
nothing like spending $20 million on an apartment in the city and having some guy with a pirate sword in the middle of your street
Literally.
naked, swinging it.
Or
Kids,
or like
don't look
a
at him.
fucking heroin addict on every corner, like shooting up in front of my kids as they walk to school. And they're like, "Why do we have to look at this?" I'm like, "We don't. Let's go."
Kids, get your shit. We're out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
So how come why Florida? Just like was it just because you knew people there and you'd already been there before, or was it?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, like I wanted warm weather, and just because it's so close to New York, like whenever I want to shoot back, for like a little fix. And I have some good friends that live here. My parents are down here, which is not a reason I moved down here, but they are. So there's that. And yeah, I don't know. It's fucking nice here.
Nice. That's cool.
So we have
wait, Frank, you're on Long Island, right?
Yeah. I'm in.
And Zach,
I'm
where
in.
are you?
I'm in Jersey.
Centerport, which is right next to Huntington in Long Island, which is
Oh yeah, my sister lives in Melville.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's an hour or 3 to Manhattan, depending on the time.
Depending on when you leave.
Yeah, exactly. And depending on the season, right?
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
or I could take the Long Island Railroad for a low price of like I don't know, what is it now, Zach? Like
Oh, dude, it's off. I mean, listen, get it for when I go to Long Island from here, it's at least 2 hours, and that's like the best outcome.
Jersey.
Yeah. So
Yeah. It's just the fucking. Where in
it.
Jersey are you? I grew up in Jersey.
I'm in Roselle Park right now. I went to school when I was younger. I went to school in Sussex County. I went to Pope John and Blair Academy. So I'm
If you're in Roselle Park, stop by Zach's house.
Yes, yeah, we'll say hi.
Tell everybody where you live.
Exactly. Yes.
I don't know if I'll ever find myself in New Jersey ever again.
Yeah, probably not. There's no reason to roll there. Yeah, I get it.
No. I love Jersey. I love.
No, I'm not far from the city. It's easier to get into the city than than to Long Island. So.
Well, someone's coming to Strength Club, the Strength New York City. Someone's coming. In the person in the middle.
Strong. You have to say the right thing.
Strong New York. I'm sorry. I keep going Strong New York.
Oh, yeah.
Strong New York. Because we just did a photo shoot at Strength Club New York, New Jersey, and you just said Jersey. So yeah, Strong New York.
Yeah.
All right, so you'll be at Strong New York. So okay, what are you going to be doing there, and how do you prep for whatever it is that you're going to do? Right, like I'm curious about this since I've never been a presenter at one of these things.
No, I'm not a presenter. I'm coming as a guest.
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Same with us.
Oh, did you
Same
think
with
I was
us.
a presenter? God,
Sure, why not?
That makes me happy.
Yeah, why not?
I think I could be a presenter, and I think that
so.
Kenny should make me a presenter.
See?
But
What would you?
I don't know.
What would you?
In due
What
time.
would you present? What would you do? We'll pitch Kenny
Well,
right now.
I'm
What would
Yeah.
you present?
What would
You
it be?
will? He's gonna be like,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, this bitch keeps popping up in all different forms of my life." Well, I'm a nutrition coach, so I would talk. It could either go two ways. I think because it's more of like people in the industry, I would talk about like building an online coaching business solely for nutrition, or kind of like a little mix, because a lot of people in the space do solely fitness, and I feel like a lot of people want to do nutrition, but they're confused if they can like make a business out of it. Like I'm actually in Jordan Syed's business mentorship, so I'm coming to see Jordan too, because I've never seen him speak live. And in the mentorship, everybody in there, like 200 people, they're all fitness coaches. I'm the only nutrition coach. So I feel like I could have like a different type of spin and like bring something new to the table,
Nice. Okay.
Is that a good elevator pitch?
I think so. What's
All
up with this
right, well,
mentor program? I mean, I want a mentor.
You want to be a mentor?
No, I want a mentor. I don't want to be anybody's mentor. I don't think anybody should follow my irresponsible lead.
Do you want me to? I'll be your mentor.
Yeah,
All right, let's do it.
yeah, exactly. Why not? Zach, what do you do?
Nothing. I stare at the wall and I call Frank. No, I've been working with Muscle and Fitness for the past, it's been since 2015, 16. I don't even know anymore. So yeah, I've been working, been the editor-in-chief there for a while, made my way up from all the editor positions, and now, as I said, just stare at the wall.
And Zach and I met.
Love it.
And
I
we
mean,
met.
that's my goal. That's my goal in life. Yeah.
That's right. No, and so that's it. So Frank and I constantly are on the horn trying to figure out things that we can do that we think are going to be different than some of the things that are out there now. Meaning, I just feel like how many times can you describe how to do a biceps curl. It just is
Oh my
boring.
God!
I'm over
Look,
it.
I've done at least
Is that one of the big
30,000.
ones?
At least 30,000 videos, right?
Yeah, you'd
And
be shocked.
what have you, and written 8 books on fitness and infomercials and everything else, and I wouldn't want to hear myself speak. So
Yeah, it's
Well, I think, I mean, from like, is your guys' audience like mostly men or is it women too?
both.
yeah,
It's
it's
both.
both.
It's
It's
Muscle
both.
and Fitness
But
her. It's Muscle and Fitness hers as well.
I feel like a great newish type of audience, and I don't know if they already do, but like for you guys would be like the woman, like the mainstream chick who like wants to get into lifting or strength training. I mean, so many women, as you know, I'm sure you guys talk about this ad nauseum, are so scared because they don't want to get big. Like they think they're gonna like fucking have popping muscles, and it's like, okay, do you know how fucking hard it is to like build muscle mass?
Yes.
You know, just that
Yes.
there's so much, like that's what I deal with on a regular basis. Like how many cardio versus strength, and what does the strength look like, and what do your splits look like, and how many and the frequency and the duration and the whole thing. You know, there's like that whole non-serious, but just people that want to be
Uh,
a little bit
yeah,
toned
there's
and
a lot.
like healthy.
There's
you
a
know?
lot of those people. There's
There's a lot
also
of those.
on the other side of the spectrum, how much testosterone am I taking?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I want to be big. Like there's a lot. Our audience
Right,
is all
right.
over the place. You know, like Zach and I have access to, and we've done so many different things with celebrities and rock stars and influencers and stuff. But we kind of like having like yourself, like real people and
Yeah.
people who are
Exactly.
in, you know, who are doing this every day with a passion and stuff. And that's why every day we're hit up 50 times. Oh, can we do a podcast? Oh, you want to come on here? And we're like, no, because we know what it's going to be. So
Right.
you came on
Right.
immediately,
Yeah.
and you're like, I left fucking New York, and it's, and like, you're our cup of tea. You're our
Yes.
type of person.
Exactly.
Like, so we're going to get straight up answers, whereas people have this very programmed, you know, well, you know, when it comes to a caloric deficit, like, it's like, I don't want, it's so boring.
Right. Yes.
So I want to know
Because it's
how
like
you
people
handle.
think that they need to speak like robots in order
Yeah.
to be taken seriously, and like people just want to be able to fucking relate to you and have a normal conversation. You know.
So that's what I said to Zach. You know, on your Instagram, you bring the information like you, like yourself. You come out, it's you, it's your personality. So what do you say? Like, I'm sure you have clients all the time come up to you and they're like, well, I don't know. I don't want to eat this protein drink because, you know, it's going to make me all big and I'm going to get fat. And then they're slamming Starbucks muffins with 3 times the amount of calories in it. So how do you approach like this scared kind of, you know, I don't have no information, like a newbie who has no, like, because we know like obviously you know the basics, but what do you say to the newbie who doesn't, like, you know, have any idea, and how do you convince them that protein isn't evil?
Well, I
Protein's
mean, it's a
bad?
process, right? It's like you can't even do that in one conversation, which is like obviously you guys know that, but like, which is why I became a coach, because I'm like, okay, it's like, yeah, we have like these little like bits on like Instagram and TikTok, and because people have ADD and it's like they want 3 seconds to like learn everything they need to know in life, when like we know realistically it like takes convincing, and especially with women, it's like unlearning. Because all these women, the most common thing I get, like when I get on consult calls for like new potential clients, they're like, I know what to do, I just don't do it. And I'm like, okay, but like, do you? Like, you don't. And that's why you're coming for help, because like nothing you've ever done before has worked, and specifically worked long term. You know, all these women want like right now, and during when I work out, it's like, okay, you have to eat healthy and work out for literally ever. Like this is a long-term thing.
Right.
So in terms of like the protein shakes versus that, I mean, there's a million ways you can go about it, but it's like more about like the bigger picture of like like my also whole thing, like my shtick, if you want to call it, is like very much like developing that, like coming away from like good, bad, yes, no, black, white, and being like literally everything can fit. It's just about strategy, you know?
I like it.
Well, that's what it says right on your Instagram page, which I threw a link out there. It says, here to help you lose weight without restriction, sustainable nutrition for long-term results. It doesn't say quick fixes, doesn't say shortcuts,
Yeah.
long-term. So
Yes.
if you're going to buckle up, you got to fucking get ready to do this stuff long term, man. Like,
and it's so fucking but it's like ridiculous because long term, meaning like for most people, if they're dialed and if they're consistent, as we all know, it's like 6 months to a year,
Yes.
maybe a little bit longer if they're like insanely overweight. You know,
Right.
it's like so it's like a fucking year out of your life in the grand scheme of things to learn everything you need to do to then just live in fucking maintenance and eat like a normal human. Like I think that's worth it. You know, same thing with like when you're paying a good coach. You know, like that's how I'm fucking expensive, but like I always tell people like on the consults, I'm like, there's a reason for that. You know, it's like when you know your shit and you've been through it, because like I used to be really, really chunky. You know, I had my own thing. Obviously, we all.
okay,
had,
when
right?
was that? How long?
I don't know
ago was
about you, Frank.
that? Yeah, no.
That was like
as far as me,
Frank chunky? No, Frank
far
was
as
just
me-
huge. He was enormous, but he was. I wouldn't say it was chunky. He was just enormously. He's like a mountain of muscle.
I mean, you are just.
started-
I swear, like when every time I watch your videos, I'm just like, what?
Yeah, a lot of people say
How?
that.
Not how. Like I know how, but like it's just insane. Anyway, sorry, what'd you ask? Oh, when was that?
Yeah, when
that
that
was
happened?
like I was at my fattest like post college, but it was like college and post college was the worst because it was like I was the typical girl, like binge, restrict binge, yo-yo, you know, the whole thing where it's like I thought I had to be perfect and I wasn't perfect, and then I would like binge on the weekends and it was just like round and round and round, and just, it was fucking diabolical. And then like I got so there was just a point where I'm like, I fucking can't do this anymore. I look like shit, I feel like shit, blah blah blah. And then I just started really like I was like, I need to unlearn everything I've learned from like fucking mom in the 90s with the fat-free, sugar-free, Atkins, South Beach, you know, I was on it all. I went for her ride.
Snackwell
Snackwells.
cookies.
You know?
They're fat free. Have as many as you want. Snackwells.
Snackwells. Do you remember Snackwells?
Oh yeah.
I would fucking eat boxes of those
Oh,
fucking
man.
cookies.
Same
I
with
swear
me.
to
Oh,
God.
they're fat free.
Yeah, well, my stomach would pay for it later, though, man. Like, it would catch up with you if you ate a whole box, which I did over and over.
You need 3 rolls of toilet paper with.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's miserable.
So bad. Like, do you remember like the Wow chips with like the Olestra in them? They
Yes.
just fucking kill your stomach.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Oh, God.
All I remember is having the old Metrics bars when they had all the sugar alcohols on them, and people would eat 4 or 5 and get on a plane from Vegas, from the Olympia, and you don't want to be anywhere near anybody on that plane. It's like, damn.
Oh, my God.
So bad. And everyone's like, what? But it's healthy. Like, I don't care that like my stomach is fucking cramping all day long and I'm shitting my brains out. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
exactly. Look, you got to sacrifice for beauty and health, you know? Like, you got to shit all day long.
Yeah. Totally.
What do you think of these juice cleanses? What do you think about juice cleanses?
I think listen, it's like I'm anti all of that shit. And it's like, okay, if you don't want to fucking eat for 3 days, like don't eat for 3 days, whatever. But like, you know, like there's one program called Prolon. Have you heard of it? By Dr.
not.
Longo.
No.
He's like a longevity expert. Okay, so like that's the only one that I'd be like, okay, if you have severe stomach issues going on, you're consulting a doctor, and it's for like other purposes other than fat loss, that's the type of thing that I'd be like, okay, if you want to do that for 3 or 5 days, because it's like liquid soups, it's like a little bit of animal protein and whatever. It's all clean. It's not like bullshit, you know? I mean, it's a bullshit, whatever, you got the drift. So like that, but like in terms of like, no, it's like, again, it's like the quick fix, you know? It's like a person that weighs, you know, close to 200 pounds that then all of a sudden tries to start restricting and, you know, not eating for a month before a vacation. It's like, what do you think's going to happen in this amount of time? And what do you think's going to happen when you don't eat? You know, everyone is just ass fucking backwards. Like, that's just what it comes down to, which is why I have a job and will hopefully always have a job.
Zach and I are getting a shovel, right? We bought property. We're going to dig holes, and we're going to put people in holes like Silence of the Lambs diet, and we're just going to drop food down once a day, and we're going to call it our severe diet camp, right, Zach?
Yeah.
We'll make a fortune.
Yeah,
But now, like,
Oh my God, can I come? I can
the
be your
blueprint is
assistant.
yeah, the blueprint is out. How are you with the shovel? Can you dig a good hole? Because that's what we really need help.
put the lotion in the basket. But now
So
That's
everybody's
really
like
funny.
not eating and taking Ozempic, right? Like that's the new, because now people are
Yes.
saying, well, I see a lot of trainers are not even putting up like scale weight loss. They're like, what's the new thing? Non-scale victories, they're calling it, because
Yeah.
non-scale,
they know a lot of these people are on Ozempic, and it has nothing
non-scale
to do with
victories.
like their training. So now it's non-scale
But
victories.
but okay, but I've been saying this for a while, right? The scale to me was never this barometer whether things were
Yeah.
going well or not. It was how I felt or whether I was achieving or working
Oh, sure.
toward a goal, right? So that was the whole thing.
Yeah.
So this to me now it's like good that they're embracing it, but I never called it a no scale victory. It was like, do I feel better or worse? Because that's the victory to me. So another quick question. So
Well, how do you
Corky's,
look?
well, yeah, exactly. Or how do you look and how do you feel? But Corky asks, does I don't think I think does he mean meal prep? Does she cook meals for the clients? Like I think he's asking if you're involved with like a meal prep service, and that's actually was something that I was going to ask you. Was you used to hear about a lot of these, and I think we still do in some ways, but. Are people just not using them as much? You know more than me because you're involved in it, or is there ones that you try to get people to use? Because I don't hear about them
I
much.
don't. I don't. And I just think my demographic doesn't do that because they're not. The only one that I hear of that's like popular on Long Island that people do like is Factor.
I've heard of Factor. I've heard of that one. I don't know what it's
Yeah.
about, but I've heard it.
Jordan Syatt was actually just talking about one that he's been trying that he really likes, but I don't remember the name. And he's tried like a million. He said that this is by far the best. But like, again, like you're just, yes, that can be a great tool. But if you really want to be serious about having a lifestyle, like you need to learn how to cook for yourself. And it's like, again, comes down to like the overcomplicating. Like people have to learn how to simplify and they can't get comfortable with that because it's like paralysis analysis, like they get so overwhelmed that they wind up doing nothing because if it's not perfect, then it's not going to work.
Right.
So in
Yep.
terms of meal plans, I think they can be great. And if you have the budget for it, like, fuck yeah. But I mean, who wants to live like, I wouldn't want to live like that. Like having
That's
to
the
like
other thing.
depend on someone else to like, then your food
Budget.
fucking sits there for X amount of days. All right, I have to go in 1 minute because my trainer's looking at me and gonna kill me. I'm going to work out. I'm going to pump some iron.
All right. Cool.
Well, we're gonna have
But it was
we're
so
gonna have
nice
you
chatting
on
with you
the
guys.
Yeah, dude.
we're gonna have you at the show, right? The podcast at the event. She's gonna come on.
Very cool.
I would love that. I would
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
love to be there. I would be honored. Thank you so much. Seriously.
All right, let's do
We'll
it
have
for sure.
we'll have
All right, so
Snackwells,
just like
and we'll have Snackwells and some
and Loud Tips.
prep company food.
Yeah.
All right, go train.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Alrighty,
It
cool.
was nice to meet you guys.
See you
All right,
later.
I'll see you soon. Send me the
Bye.
info, whatever.
You got
All right,
it.
peace.
Bye.
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 All right, let me see here. Oops.
See, I like
Wait.
guests like that because they just no filter. I like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna quickly rearrange our panels. Look at this. Ooh,
Our skulls.
the magic of the internets. Woo. Yeah, no, that was
We're
interesting.
going.
She's cool.
Yeah, she'd be interesting live with us
Mm-hmm.
for a segment. What do you call it? We're going to the Olympia. Did you know that?
I did.
forgot.
I did. I booked my flight. I booked a red eye, by the way.
On Saturday night?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? That might not be a bad idea. What time is the red eye? 12? 1?
Yeah, it's a 12. My thing is, it's like there's a
When
bunch
are you
of
coming
reasons.
in? First.
Thursday, I get like Thursday at like 2. I
Damn.
think we land. I know. That's right. Well, it's a childcare thing. It's a childcare, dude. Because my wife's mom is
get it.
coming, and she needs to be out by a certain time. So I said, look, we can either push it and hope that no delays happen and maybe get there, or we just take the red eye. Now we're there. We're going to be there X amount of hours early. So that's what we ended up doing.
I think I'm going to come in on Wednesday and then leave either Sunday morning or Saturday. Like, I can't leave Saturday night because the show doesn't end till
know.
late, and I have to put up everything. So, yeah, I'll probably leave on Sunday morning, first thing, like 6 a.m. So,
Yeah.
which is cool because I'll be home for all the football games.
Yeah, like well, that was the thing was for us. It's like if we left at 6 a.m., it still wouldn't have overlapped, or we still would have missed the window that our mom was leaving. So, because we're X amount of hours ahead, so it's tough. Like, that's why, again, selfishly, going to Orlando was way better and easier because it was an easier flight for us, for me,
Yeah,
and
so close.
oh, fuck. So this is a little bit more of a challenge, but you know,
But
what we do.
it'll be good. We have a lot to do there, so I know that. But yeah, I don't know. So I don't know what what's gonna. It's just not enough time to like in a day. It's just so much going on in a day. I wish that's when you wish you can clone yourself or make an AI version of yourself so that you can do everything that's going on there. But
Yeah,
whatever. Well, there'll be some great stuff happening to Muscle and Fitness booth. Zach will
yeah.
have the new magazine there.
Oh,
You
that's
know,
right. I will.
I was going through all of the stuff that we've done over the last year, and it's been extremely interesting. You know what we're gonna miss? It's on October 10th. Is the Jack Taylor winter or fall, whatever it is.
Oh,
We're gonna miss it. Yeah,
dang
it's
it.
in Brooklyn. I know. Now I know where to park and everything else is gonna
I know.
it's gonna be gone.
Bummer.
Park in the Navy Yard. But I'm like, yeah, so we're gonna miss that. But I probably got about 40, 50 emails of different people that want to do things with us as far as
Yeah.
like, you know. And I think that we should do our podcast, we should name it and get it out ASAP because
Let's do it.
we're going to be doing a ton of stuff and we got to put it out there and put it out on Spotify, put it out everywhere, even if it's this and that. And, you know, I think it's important because we have so many things coming on up the horizon in the next couple of months. So,
Yeah, that's a good point. It's funny because we go back and forth. We talk about these things, and then
I
something
know.
inevitably gets in the way, and we kind of forget, and then we revisit it. I'm sure this happens to other people, but I don't know.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. And then also
It's
knowing that you said the Olympia is coming up. I want to make use of that time as best we can. Like this, I don't want to just be sitting there like, oh, what do we do? I want to have ideas and go in there and do things and have fun. So yeah, it's gonna be. I want to make the most of it for sure.
you know, like for the last, I don't know how long I've gotten, I don't know how many offers to do collaborations with training. And I haven't done training since, the Metrics 180 infomercial and what have you. And today I'm going to a meeting to discuss a big, pretty much big deal, whatever. And I am actually doing training collaborations with Juan Morel, John Edwards, Psychic, and a bunch
Yeah,
of other people. So I am going full out on, with the training because that's what I did as an ISSA master trainer and writing books and doing all that stuff. But I just shied away from it, and I think it goes hand in hand with with nutritional company because you want people to use your products and you want to
sure.
offer them something extra. So I think that would be so that's going to happen very quickly too. So you're talking about not having enough hours in the day, right? Like you just got to
Yeah.
keep. I don't
No,
know.
but that's a
The
good
more you
point
push
though.
forward, the more you keep going back to things you know.
And that's a good point though about also you're a personality too. You've been on TV, you've done, as you said, the infomercials, you've done a bunch of different things. So it's really, to me, it seems like this has become this culmination of where everything is going to meet between the Sepi Nutrition, between your on-air personality and your expertise as a trainer. Now there's going to be spots where you can get them all out there, which is crazy. But it's funny how you said, man, like sometimes you start these new things and you move away from the stuff that you did, like you said, the training and the books and things like that. And now that's coming back
Yeah.
as a way to support some of these new ventures. It's interesting.
And I think that would be great for our podcast because we'll, obviously between I was going to say Rolodex and my role, like we would just have some really interesting people that we can get on a bigger scale to
Hmm.
on all their platforms too. So, oh, by the way, today's a Chris Daughtry concert. I guess we're not getting tickets.
Oh, well, okay. Like, I thought we were gonna run the stairs. I thought we had all, didn't even want to do that. We had all these plans.
Well, you know what? Now we're gonna have to, I'll Zoom you. You sit in your room with
Yeah,
Erica, and I'll
and we'll
and
just
we'll
we'll wave
play
it.
and we'll play the hits.
Yeah,
And we'll just we'll have a watch party.
it'd be like 2020 all over again.
I was just at Jones Beach for Pitbull, and then
Yeah,
John Bon Jovi showed up, which was
that's
honestly
nuts.
awesome because I never got to see John Bon Jovi, and he was all it was great. So
Yeah,
I guess I
I
had my fill at Jones Beach.
yeah, so I was trying to get us to go to 311 to do some other content, you as well, and then that turned into a mess. And turns out because it was some festival, it was like I don't even know. It was a bunch of different
Yeah.
bands were going to be there, and yeah, they were like, hey, we're trying to make sure everybody has time. Like Rolling Stone has this much time, and I'm like. So basically, I said to Erica, I'm like, we're going to pay for a sitter. We're going to pay to get there. We're going to pay to park. And then we're going to go into the media pit and throw elbows at people I was like, I just can't do it. I can't.
You know what's interesting? And some people they need a reality check. Like, oh, Rolling Stone or whatever these companies come at don't. And I'm not saying specifically Rolling Stone because I love Rolling Stone. I'm saying some of
Hmm.
these other media outlets that have zero reach. Like
Hmm.
we ran into people at some of these shows in Manhattan. I'm like, well, what do you do? She's like, I'm a fitness influencer. Oh,
Right.
really? Are you? Like, like I don't know. Some of these people that have like 15,000 followers and they're getting treated like whatever. And between Muscle and Fitness and our own platforms, we're in like, you know, multi millions. It's like,
Well, that's
all
from
right,
you.
you're not doing us a favor. You know what
I
I
am a
mean? You
nano
know what I mean?
influencer, sir. I'm a nano influencer. I have very very boutique following of small. It's like I only post stuff because when you when you collaborate with me, that's it.
But that's now.
Yeah,
So like, but you will because you have a level of talent that other people don't. So it's just that's what I'm saying. But it's also the case where they're like, oh wait, you go to one of these I went to a yoga festival, whatever it was, and like, hey, we can get Muscle and Fitness hers there, whatever. I saw it. I'm like, oh, that'd be cool to do
sure.
a yoga festival. They had goat
Yeah,
yoga, all this cool stuff, and I'm like, Muscle and Fitness hers, Muscle and Fitness there, and
yeah.
they're like,
Why not?
oh, we have the I don't know the name of it. The Vegan Times is coming, so that slot is filled because people don't know. We could have just there's like 1,200 followers,
Yeah,
whatever it may be. I don't know what the name of the place was. Like it was a small media outlet, and we're like, we can get you millions, and if people act like you're doing them. They're
yeah.
doing you a
They're,
favor, and it's
yeah.
like, we don't. I don't know. It's just annoying.
It is, dude. There's, I got a pitch the other day because there was another pickleball thing, and they were like, and I was gonna send it to you, but I'm like, it's the only times open are like 6 to 7 or something like that at night, and I'm like, I don't want
No.
to do that. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
You got kids too.
Yeah,
Unless we're playing like, Hulk Hogan and John Cena, I'll make the
different
trip.
story,
You're like,
right? Yeah, yeah. There you go. Then I'll move some things around, I'll make it work, but not
but
no.
it's to introduce your amazing new headband or whatever. I'm not
Yeah,
coming.
no. And like 6 to 7, I'm like, good lord, who's gonna show up for that?
I don't have to do this.
Yeah, I mean, because I used to go to more of those when I was working in the city, and I didn't have kids because we'd get out at 6 or 7 or whatever, or 5:30, and we would go there. But nowadays, I feel like a lot of people aren't working traditional hours; they're just working,
No,
so it's not the same.
it was cool. I lived in a city, and then I worked for ESPN. So they had a huge studio on 34th and 8th that they built for which is now it was Cold Pizza, the TV
Yeah,
show was called on ESPN, which turned into Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith,
right.
their show, and then it morphed into their show. But they were like, "Hey, we need you at the studio at 11 o'clock." Cool. Like you'd
Yeah,
jump in a cab or you'd walk down, and then like, can you be on 20? 24th and Irving Street. Can you be on 68th Street? And you're like, yeah, it's at 8. It's a party at 9 o'clock for ESPN bowling. All right, let me have about 3 drinks and head
Yeah,
down.
sure.
You know
Yeah,
what
no
I'm saying?
problem.
Now,
Yeah.
now it's not the same anymore. Now it's like,
No. You know, I have no, I don't know. I guess it's also, I know that people, when we would go at the time, it would be, okay, well, we'll get some stuff for social. And now I'm just like, there's just too, as you said, there's too much going on to where I'm like, I don't have it in me to go make those trips all the time.
I like doing the Jack Taylor stuff because they're extremely nice people.
Yes,
Like,
I
and they
them too.
appreciate it too. So it's cool. Like, you'll go down, you'll do something, but I think that's cool. But I'd love to see. I don't know. I'd love to see on a big scale a real kind of like, Kenny's doing the fitness. Like, I would like to see a fitness forum of some sort where you bring in everybody and they talk for real, but it'll never happen because
No.
half of these people are so just into themselves and alpha, and they don't like to
Yeah.
share, and it's just it would wind up being a brawl than it would like a real kind of.
I think that actually makes sense to what we talked about earlier as to why I don't love hearing a lot of people speak, because it's so rehearsed and
Yeah.
it's not. It's just it's like their character is delivering something rather than the person. And
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm just like, ugh.
I'd rather watch Piper's Pit.
Yes, exactly, exactly. What was the Brutus beef? He had like the Brutus beefcake one too. What was it called? Like it was like.
Oh, I don't know, but all I remember is in Piper's Pit, he cracked Snooker in the head with a coconut.
Yeah.
and I think Jimmy Snooker really took the coconut in the head. He was bleeding. That guy had. I remember sitting at the Nassau Coliseum, and I was close, and Jimmy Snooker, the scar tissue, and Jimmy the Snooker's head. So back in the day, they take the razor blade and they just go
Yeah.
like this.
Ugh.
I think all you had to do was this. And that thing would start bleeding. I watched a steel cage match between him and the Magnificent Morocco, and the guy was a bloodbath. Like, there was blood everywhere, and it was coming all from his forehead. So how much blood you have? The guy had crazy scar tissue.
Oh, plus that. I mean, I guess you have to discuss that with your opponent or your partner, right? Like, hey, by the way, I'm going to bleed all over your face. Because it's like, I don't know if I would be so into that. And maybe that's when I would break character. I'd be like, oh, all right, I need a 20-second timeout. We need to get this cleaned up here. It's gross.
It's going to get in your mouth, and it's going to
Yes.
get in your eyes, no matter
Exactly.
what. I mean, the way that they were bleeding, like, you watch some of the matches with Mick Foley, and as Cactus Jack and all these other,
Yeah.
like, he's getting barbed wire stapled to his head and like all kinds of crazy stuff.
God.
Like, think about it. I would freak out. Putting my hand, like, you're grabbing the head for a headlock and it's in your finger. Like, oh man, that's nasty.
I'm sure he's all banged up today too. I'm sure like you don't get out of that. You know what I mean? You can't return from that after so many times. Like you just have to just deal with it. Like deal with all the repercussions, like the broken bones and the loss of cartilage and probably not being able to walk without pain. Ooh, forget it.
I don't know, but I think when we go to the event, we should do our 60-second things. I'm gonna prepare like 10 of them, so
Yeah.
we legitimately get a bunch of stuff. We'll just put a cell phone with 60 seconds, and we'll do a bunch of them, and then we'll add
for
some
sure.
people and just set up a desktop
Yeah.
camera, so which will be cool, to do
Got
that.
this one. I'm ready to rock. So I'm ready because I got this. I'm definitely ready for that. I have been putting questions aside. Some of the ones that we know that people want to see. So that'll be cool.
I think it was one of the most popular things that we did. It was like crazy on there.
Isn't that funny? Like the one of the most popular things was one of the cheapest to produce. It's just us
Yeah,
talking.
and easiest to do.
Yes. Oh,
and
God.
non-rehearsed too. You can't rehearse it.
No, we didn't
So-
rehearse. No, the only thing I would do is try to, if I stuttered or something, I would just try to like speed that up. But other than that, it's all there.
if we can get 500,000 a piece for that show,
Yeah, it's perfect. Do it
that
every
would
day.
work.
No
Who
problem.
wants to sponsor the 60 second Zach and Frank? Zach and Frank. What are we calling it?
On the
60
clock?
seconds.
Yeah,
On the clock.
yeah,
On the
yeah.
clock. On the clock. 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Frank and Zach answering random questions. Who wants to sponsor it? DM us.
I'm gonna ask Strong New York to sponsor it. I'm gonna ask them for
7,000.
money. I'm gonna ask them for money. All right,
Hey,
dude, listen.
Kenny reached out to thank us too.
That's
Kenny
cool.
reached out.
Yeah,
Said
I'm gonna.
thank you, which is
That's
cool.
what I'm working on next. I'll cut that up. I'll cut this up, and then we'll come back
Yeah.
on Tuesday. Yeah, Romano couldn't make it. He just had to do something with his wife today, so all good.
Yeah,
So his
well,
wife's not
we
feeling
figured
good.
out we'd just come on for a little bit, but yeah, man.
Yeah.
So,
All
all
right,
right,
cool.
well, we'll circle back. I'll
All
talk to
right.
you later.